We can finally settle the debate. No, not that one, but which version of Mario killed more enemies? On today's episode, we play through Super Mario Bros. 3 for the first time and track every enemy we kill. If you've played a 2D Mario game, then you will be right at home with Super Mario Bros. 3. Run to the right, platform, kill or avoid enemies, and reach the flagpole. But what stood out to me most was the fantastic level variety. Take World 5 for example. 5-2 places a greater emphasis on verticality. 5-3 flips the script, forcing you to run right to left. 5-4 is filled with spinners, making you time your jumps correctly, or in my case, use the rewind feature. Other notable standouts include 7-1, which allows you to walk off screen and appear on the other side. And perhaps my personal favorite, 7-6, has platforms that auto-move, but you change the direction every time you jump, making for some of the best puzzles in the game. And how could you forget World 4, which makes everything giant or Mario tiny? I'm still not entirely sure. But perhaps most surprising in a 2D Mario game, I actually got stuck on 2 levels. In 2-4, I encountered this tornado thing. Walking, running, throwing a Koopa shell, and a dozen combinations of the previously mentioned ideas couldn't get me past it. Yeah, apparently you just need to dash at full speed and then jump. Seems kinda obvious in retrospect, but I'm not known for finding the easy solutions. The other one I got stuck on occurred in one of World 7's castles, where you have to do this crazy flying trick. While wearing the Tanuki suit, if you reach peak dash speed, jump, and mash your controller like you're playing a Mario Party minigame, you can temporarily fly. This on its own wouldn't be too challenging, but you have to find a random pipe on the ceiling and fly through it to progress. I got bailed out by the rewind feature, but I think if childhood me was playing this back in the day on original hardware, this is where I would have bounced off the game. This served as a great reminder that I should look up the old game manuals online before starting my playthroughs. I know they are viewed as a relic of the past, but they actually contain useful tips. The great level design extends to the flying airships, which I enjoyed more than most of the castles. At times they gave more bullet hell vibes than classic Mario, which helped keep things fresh. The final showdown with Bowser was an improvement over simply jumping on his head 3 times, as it forced you to bait out his attacks so he would break the blocks and eventually fall to his death. Upon slaying the Great Dragon, Princess Peach tries to gaslight you before the credits roll. Now, for what does and does not count as a kill. Just as in the original Super Mario Bros., if enemies willingly take the plunge off a platform, this does not count, as I am not directly involved in their death. Based off early levels, I thought that enemies no longer even did this, but then I saw these Spinies take the leap. Making a dry bones collapse in a heap normally doesn't count as a kill, but hitting them with a powerful attack like a hammer does. Any on-screen enemies instantly die when the level ends, which led to the deaths of a surprising amount of Lakitus and Spinies. While I'm the one dealing most of the damage, it's also important to note that enemies do not discriminate between friend and foe, as demonstrated in 6-5, and I will not be taking credit for these kills. While I was a ruthless killer in most levels, 3-5, 5-5, 6-9, and 7-4 were all completed with no kills. So where does that leave us? In total, as Mario from Super Mario Bros. 3, we killed 33 Goombas, 7 Paragoombas, 23 Piledriver Micro Goombas, 2 Shoe Goombas, 82 Koopa Troopas, 38 Koopa Paratroopas, 13 Lakitus, 19 Spinies and Spiny Eggs, 28 Buzzy Beetles, 29 Buster Beetles, 23 Piranha Plants, 5 Giant Piranha Plants, 10 Patuis, 28 Venus Fire Traps, 13 Nipper Plants, 29 Cheep Cheeps, 3 Bloopers, 11 Boss Bass, 33 Bullet Bills, 2 Missile Bills, 1 Angry Sun, 11 Spikes, 5 Chain and Fire Chomps, 8 Boos, 3 Dry Bones, 15 Thwomps, 47 Rocky Wrenches, 10 Boomerang Bros, 15 Hammer Bros, and 3 Sledge Bros. Additionally, we killed a number of bosses, including 17 Boom Booms, and one of each of the Koopa kids: Iggy, Larry, Lemmy, Ludwig, Morton, Roy, and Wendy, as well as the Big Bad Bowser, culminating in a grand total of 574 enemies. This puts this version of Mario hovering around the middle of the kill pack, just ahead of Diddy and Donkey Kong from Donkey Kong Country, and just behind Link from Link's crossbow training. Additionally, this iteration of Mario dwarfs the kill count of the Mario from the original Super Mario Bros., who had a piddly 144 kills. Super Mario Bros. 3 is a great game. The level design is fantastic, the music is iconic, and the graphics still hold up. I mean, look at this dog. I get that we're supposed to transform this guy back into human form, but for what it's worth, I'm fine if he stays as is. I enjoyed a lot of the changes from the original Super Mario Bros., with the tail attack of the Tanuki suit being severely underrated in my opinion. With that said, I do have my gripes with the game. The most obvious is what happens at the right-hand side of the screen. I don't know what the technical term is, but it looks awful, and while it's not a deal breaker, it certainly is distracting. My biggest complaint, however, isn't really the game's fault, but just my preference for platformers. Celeste is still my favorite, in large part because of how short and snappy each section is. If you die in a level, you restart that screen instantaneously. Classic Mario staples like a timer and life count feel old. Not bad, but old. So I think Super Mario Bros. 3 is a great game, especially if you want to experience more classic Mario. But for me, I don't see myself coming back to it anytime soon. That will do it for this one. Subscribe if you're interested in seeing more video game kill counts, and thanks for watching.